Culturally Clueless.
All right, everyone, welcome to Culturally Clueless and Salam Alaikum. So, I want to start by mentioning a genocide that is never ever talked about, really. This month marks 50 years of the start of a genocide that people don't know about. It took out 2 million people, a quarter of the population. And if you don't know about the Cambodian genocide, it's time to do some research. Stay tuned. Ray and Maria are here, and we have a guest and more topics. All right, so here we are today. It's the four of us, and we have Stella with us today. She has never been here before. Stella, hello and welcome. We have Maria, of course. Ray is back. So everybody was getting a heart attack, not knowing if he will make it. He actually did make it. So what's up, guys? How are you? Let's pretend like we didn't talk, like always.
Very happy to be here as always. I have my camera on. Thank you everybody for understanding last week. It's everything all better now for another episode. Welcome, Stella.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Good to meet everybody, see all the faces. So, yeah.
Stella is our friend from TikTok. We platform a lot. We talk about Palestine for hours or days. We create a strong bond in our community. So I'm very excited that she's here with us right now.
Wait, Stella, is it true or is she exaggerating?
Go ahead, Stella. Tell them everything that we do.
It's true. Maria is a great organizer, right? Community builder. So it's good to get to know people, because I think all of the digital relationships that we get to make are important for like solidifying the movement. Like I see a lot there. So I really appreciate Maria and all of you guys, really. So
okay. Ray,
I appreciate you.
How is it going at 3:30 a.m.?
Well, look, all I can say is I'm still here, and I'm awake, and I'm excited as always. Well, thanks for having me again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I'm ready.
Here's the thing with you now. This is what I'm gonna do. You don't want me to talk about car seats, don't say nothing.
Car seats.
All right.
Now you had to say
car seats.
I just said something random. That's all.
No, Stella.
It is random.
In the car.
Exactly. Stella is in the car.
Stella is in the car, and you talk about car seats. No, she needs to know.
Oh no, what's wrong with my car seat?
No, everything is fine.
Out.
Everything is fine with your car seats. Maria, your question of the week.
Okay, I have a very good question actually. It's related to another topic that Ines is gonna love. So I want to ask you guys, how important is, let's say, politics for you guys? Because to me, at least in the US, politics is very linked to our values. So will you guys break relationship with friend and family due, quote, politics disagreement? How important for you guys?
Why do you think I'm gonna love this question? And
it's coming. You're gonna love it.
Oh my god! Because I don't know, like you make it look like arguing. I don't.
No, you're gonna love it. Believe me. Keep watching, guys. The moment is coming.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
The question is for everybody.
So Ray, go ahead.
No, I think I was about to say I'm gonna get Stella to answer. She's today she's here for the first time with us, and I'd love to hear her answer.
My opinion on politics.
Yep.
Well, no, on politics, like how far your disagreement will bring you to end relationship with a friend or family member.
Oh yeah. I will. I've always been like that. I will end friendships, relationships over political disagreements because it's you can't separate politics from life, especially in America, and I'm Black. And so like I had a friend once when I was in college. I was 20 and we were really close. She's Mexican, and so we were really close and politically aligned. And then she married a guy, like, okay, I'm talking about people, I feel so bad, but whatever.
It's okay.
She
It's
married
okay.
a guy who was far right and thought we were going to be friends. And of course, this was in like the social media. This was like in the beginning, like of Twitter. And so he would post things and everybody wants to debate. And so that was like the first time I realized like your girlfriends will drop you on a dime for their racist boyfriends and husbands. And I was like, no, because like, what are we going to talk about if you basically think my people and anyone who's different from you don't have rights and you want to spend all your time like basically focusing on that?
I don't understand. Like,
Exactly.
how is people getting married to people who are right? I just don't get the concept of this.
Don't get the
Me
concept.
either. To me, it's important. My political views are aligned with my values. So if you are not aligned with my values, I cannot be aligned with you, right? It's crazy. I will break relationships in no time.
100% facts.
Like,
Facts. Already done
yeah,
it.
because and I haven't talked with an aunt because the Palestinian situation. Well, it's not my aunt per se, but I used to before the Palestinian situation exploded or I got more knowledge about it. We were like so close. I mean, she basically adopted me because she doesn't like anybody else. And
Well,
now because of that,
no
I
more.
have to cut out. I'm sorry, but this is my life commitment now. I cannot have you in my life if you are not gonna stick with us.
Ray?
Yeah, I agree. I agree the same. Yeah. Well, look, especially from where I came from, and the where I was born and where I'm originally from, right?
Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Syria.
Ah,
And he's Palestinian.
Yeah. So, and I'm a Palestinian, right? So this is something, you know, this is how like my personality was shaped, right? And of course, you know, if and it happened especially during the uh, the Syrian revolution, because people keep calling it war, but it started as revolution against dictatorship, right? It happened. Look, I've lost friends. And I didn't. I wouldn't call them. I couldn't call it as a loss anyway, right? I walked away from friends because of they couldn't really see the obvious. Um, on the Palestinian issue, especially again, if I'm going to talk about friends and family, we're all Palestinians and we all share the same views, so I couldn't really, say much about it. But the Syrian one was really a changing point for me, because some people couldn't really see the obvious, and some people could see the obvious, but they could still say that, an evil is better than the unknown, right? And they couldn't really see that we have to we there's something wrong there, and this wrong that needs to be changed. So, and they were just doing it either out of fear or out of maybe worrying about the stability of their life. So yeah, yes, I've walked away from so many friends, family members. I couldn't walk away from them, if I would put it this way. But I think now they realize that, well, okay, they were wrong, basically, and now they are enjoying or at least feeling, not enjoying, because it's a bit of a long way until everyone would enjoy there, but they are feeling the difference. Okay, so yeah, well, 100%, yes, it's a huge factor, the political views, especially with the manipulation of the media and you know we are being manipulated everywhere, right? So yeah, people need to think, work out their minds, and see and look beyond what's been given to them and told to them. That's my answer.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Next.
I already answered. I said 100%. I walked away from friendships, and even not just like about racism on a whole, but just like COVID already for me was a thing.
Yeah.
That already was for me like where I had to walk away from a lot of people. And it's just like for me, I don't think it's worth it. I just like listen to people what they say, and that's their opinion. I can just like distance myself from them. I don't have to make it a big deal.
Oh, I make it a big deal.
No, when they ask me, I will tell them, and that's what it is.
Yeah, make it a big deal.
Yeah, I made that a huge deal.
I am the drama, always the drama.
Really? Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay, that's your question, Maria? That's it?
that's my question.
Okay. And I'm gonna love
that
this
was
now.
good.
Why? Tell me.
You will see it's coming.
What do you mean? It's over.
Suspension. You just enjoy the suspense.
No, what I'm saying is we can move to our next topic, right?
Yes, we can move. Yes, so and people gonna understand why.
Okay.
One of the points. Okay.
Oh, okay. I see now. All right, cool. So we're gonna talk about the universities, in particular, what's going on with Harvard, for example.
The university has put its faculty and its students at risk through its own actions across the entire constituency of the university and allowed itself to be held hostage to a political agenda that will now be concretized in a new way in this agreement that we'll hear about tomorrow. I'm just brokenhearted. And if you care about Columbia and are part of that university or the idea of a university in a free society and a democracy, you should be too.
You guys, oh yeah, 100%. But what is so annoying to me about this whole Harvard situation, just to say that there is an update. So they send a letter to Harvard wanting to change the curriculum, wanting to have a say on the employees and everything, and they said no. So Trump froze $2.2 billion dollars, and Harvard still saying no. Then they decided to send a letter and saying, oh, it was a mistake. We didn't actually mean it. The letter was sent without authorization, which is obviously the biggest BS. They just were capping because they were caught now in this whole thing, and Harvard like literally said we're not part of this. But what annoys me with this the most, when they had their former president, okay, and she was accused of anti-Semitism and she had to resign. So back then they were not standing with her, and now they seeing what's going on. I don't know, like, to me, I'm just very annoyed about it, because that woman was neither was she anti-Semitic, nor was she out of pocket for what she did or what she said. You guys remember her, right?
Yeah, but it's definitely the pressure the student has put now that they are forced to change the view. I see what you're saying. Yeah, why didn't you act back then, right? Why now? But it's definitely, I'm gonna shout out to all the students that have been protests and been loud about Palestine, because that they are the reason. They are the reason why these people in charge are changing their mind. They're putting pressure.
Oh, no idea, but I just think it's crazy. I think they're still deporting what do you call it? Students. They deported another Palestinian. Then they came out saying that Mahmoud Khalil is removable from the US, and he has basically time till this week to object it with his lawyer. So let's see what happens. But all of this is crazy. The students. Yeah.
The decision that he was to be removed, it came from the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah. I, like you, I'm confused. I wonder what the motives are, because the universities are supposed to stand for academic freedom. They're supposed to support freedom of speech, but we've been watching brutality against students for decades. So like even in my head, like there's a controversy there that they have been feeding. So I wonder what their end game is, because they only care about money. I feel like objecting to this administration, objecting to these false claims of anti-Semitism is so easy, and it's such a fundamental right that they should have done a long time ago. I don't understand what the point is and what their goals are now. And I'm scared to trust them. Like even seeing the Big Ten universities come out and say, well, you know, we're going to stand for free speech even if you pull our funding. I'm like, what is really their motive for giving a crap now?
I give the credit to the loud voices that we have.
No way.
Because people say like protests don't do much, you're wasting your time. This doesn't do anything, but it does. It takes time, but it does. What these students have done, the pressure they have put in the university is gonna create change. It's doing it right now. Not as fast as we wanted, but I think it's coming.
Many students, they risked a lot. They risked their degree. They
The rest,
their degrees apart, all the paperwork. They are just like doing a lot, and you have to give it up to them. They are actually amazing. But for me, it's just a game. It's just a game, because in the long run, in the history books, we're going to read that Harvard was the only or the first or whatever university that stood against oppression of freedom of speech. So sometimes it's just an image thing or whatever this game is that they're playing.
well, yeah, part of it too. They have to protect their investors. And who are the investors? The students that pay the tuition.
There's other investors as well.
Ray, what do you think?
Yes. What do I
Ray,
think?
what's going on today?
Nothing, really, nothing. I'm with you here. I'm just listening to you guys. What do I think? Well, look, the thing about universities in general, I'm talking about, right? We noticed, we can tell already, and you guys mentioned that, you know, nowadays it feels like the main purpose of the university is to make money. Honestly, that's how I see it. But on the other hand, you know, when you see these decisions that are being made in terms of deporting or revoking students' visas and all this hassle that's been happening. Now, some of these students, by the way, they are research students, and they are supposed to basically enrich they are supposed to, you know, how to say it, to achieve and to raise the name of those universities a little bit, you know, to make it on a higher level by their research, by their creativity. And you know, when you see that those some of these students, of course, and or maybe all of them are just being revoked their visas or deported, and that is actually affecting the ranking of the university itself, right? So again, this is something like, what is the university for? Is it really to make money now, or is it really to be a place where, you know, creativity, where, you know, the people who would build the future, people who would do the research, people who would progress the, you know, improve the quality of the humanity, or the humans in general, or our world. So, you know, you start asking these questions and think about it. It's like, no, I think it's the universities are really there to make money nowadays, right? And you know, you pay for the name of the university where you graduated from. So you pay the money, and well, yeah, I'm from Harvard or I'm from Stanford or whatever the big name is. right? It's a decoration, more like a decoration nowadays, you know. And I'm sure that, you know, I'm sure we're gonna talk about other subject topics today about, you know, like, you know, you pay money to show or to put your name somewhere or next to some how to say it, some achievement that you are not part of, right?
Yep.
I feel like that brings up like a really good point of like okay, what's the motive if the money is not getting, you know, if they're not actually losing money yet, but like the idea of what these universities represents might be crumbling, and they're noticing that, and like they're trying to get ahead of it. It's like, well, what does your university actually stand for? Why should these brilliant students travel to the United States and get degrees from your universities if they are just symbolic and purely they mean nothing, and the talent is coming from somewhere else, which is true. So I like that idea.
Yeah. I mean, we can see that even like when you think about like Kim Kardashian or Rihanna joining like Harvard courses or whatever. Like, why do we even have to advertise it if they're just like supposed to be just go to school or get a degree? This is just like, you know, it's a little bit of a marketing behind it, like to make a thing out of it. So
You know, the thing is, like, even if we go on the level of, you know, the people who are not, you know, famous or celebrities or whatever, right? If you notice that, you know, like the university programs, right, the academic programs, we've got different levels or degrees or qualifications, you know, bachelor's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, masters, PhDs, right? Um, You know, if I want to get myself some recognition, maybe I can go to one of these universities, and I don't really have to go for like an academic qualification. It could be just a short course, and that
yeah.
short course basically would give me a piece of paper with the university name, which is, you know, supposedly a big name. I can put it on my LinkedIn profile, right? And you know, that might really bring more attention to me when I apply for a job. And sometimes I wouldn't really have to apply for a job. I'll just get recruiters you know, reaching out for me to me, just because, you know, I'm putting some and look, it happens in some countries. I'm not really going to mention, but it happens in some countries where I lived before, right? If you have the name of the university in there, it's like an extra piece of jewelry that would make you look better in terms of employability, and you know, the company who's looking for a candidate, then they would say, well, you know, that person has got this big name next to, you know, next to his qualifications. Although again, it's just a short course. It could be like a couple of weeks course, right?
Yep.
It's just a competency certificate. But hey, I've got the name next to it, right?
I have some of those.
Oh, we all do.
Me too.
I do. I definitely do.
I didn't want to say it, but since we're being honest here. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So when we talk about like these kind of things and this kind of like fake advertisement, there's something we definitely have to talk about, and these are the fake attacks under the claim of anti-Semitism. So yeah, Ray, we have to talk about your country. Well, not your country, the one that you live in right now. Australia seems to really enjoy these kind of things. Like first they staged this thing in this Egyptian cafe, then now they're staging a couple of others. What's up with that? Like they have a caravan full of explosives, and then I mean, I don't even know what to say to this. Like, what is there to say really?
I don't know. Our guys are bored here. You know, they're just trying to create anything to get some attention.
Oh, you think they want a viral moment?
Look, you know, first of all, the cafe that you're talking about now, or let's say, you know, the latest one is something that happened in Canada, isn't it? Right?
Oh no, the first, yeah,
The
okay. Okay, so the first cafe was in Australia. That was an Egyptian one.
yeah,
And then the second
yeah,
one is in Canada. Oh my gosh, I'm totally okay. Hmm.
yeah. But that brings me to another another Egyptian cafe, or yeah, we could call it restaurant. That's in my city, right?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden we heard that there was an attack, but this time it's not anti-Semitism. It was actually an Islamophobe attack,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And first of all, like I like that was when I like 1 month after I moved to this city, or let's say a couple of weeks after I moved to this city, right? And I haven't heard about this cafe before. And I just read this thing on Facebook, and then I looked for it, and it was like, oh wow, they've got attacked, and like the place was vandalized, and the employees were terrified, and they're apologizing to everyone that like everyone is safe, but they're apologizing to their customers that because of the trauma they are going to take a couple of weeks break, and for forced refurbishment, and to rehabilitate the place, right? And but honestly speaking, I remember that this cafe never opened again. Or no, no, sorry, they opened again, and when they opened for like a couple of months, and they closed completely. And it turned out that this attack, the Islamophobe attack, was also made up. Because I
Were they
think
trying to
that
get
they couldn't.
insurance?
Well, they were trying to get attention to start with, right? So they want sympathizers. They want people to come and see, like, where the hell is that restaurant that they are talking about, or this cafe? And honestly, I went there, and I was like, all right, well, look, that's why
You
they were
fall for the
looking for attention,
advertising.
because honestly speaking, it didn't
You fall
work
for it.
anyway. Well, in fact, yeah, look, because when I moved to this city, I was looking for, I was collecting some information about where I can eat, like, the halal food and all of this, right? So when I heard about this, I was like, well, okay, well, that could be an option. Let's see, let's wait until they open. But when I went there, like, honestly speaking, that's why they didn't last long, because they couldn't really do any proper marketing before the attack, and they thought that the attack is going to give them some good marketing, but it still didn't work. The quality of the food, and I looked at the review on Facebook, it was like horrible. So nothing is going to help these people, right?
Oh no.
So they closed.
Oh, wow.
So when I read this news about this, the one in Canada as well, I was like, was it the same case? Like they were trying to get some attention here? Probably, right?
I
The
mean,
one in Canada was it's an Egyptian restaurant and they staged an anti-Semitic attack.
No,
no, no, no, no,
no.
no, no. That was in Australia, and not they did it.
Oh.
It was somebody like a journalist. He
The
came.
Daily Mail, right? Press.
Yeah, no, yeah, the
Ah,
Telegram,
that's
the Telegraph, the
The
Telegraph,
Telegram, the Telegram, the
a
Telegram newspaper.
Telegraph,
yeah,
graph,
that's
graph.
Well, Natasha, this was a story that deeply concerned those in the Jewish community and really shocked Winnipeggers when it happened last week. It was reported that a local cafe called Bear Max had been robbed on Thursday. It was also alleged that one of the female owners had been assaulted and there had been vandalism and anti-Semitic graffiti had been sprayed on the cafe. In the days following this alleged attack, there was flowers laid at the cafe. There was messages of support that poured in to the owners of the cafe. But last night, investigators came to the conclusion that it was in fact staged. Officers poured over forensic evidence, video surveillance, as well as the interviews, and that's the conclusion that they reached yesterday. The three owners of the cafe are now facing charges of public mischief. Winnipeg's police chief spoke about this morning at a press conference, and he talked about just how disturbed he is by this twist in this investigation.
Yeah, that's the one that happened like 1 month ago, right?
Yeah, but then there was another one, and then
But
we
that
have
wasn't
the.
an attack.
No,
It
that
wasn't
was
an
just
attack.
like it was, but it's an attack on the. It's like not like a dangerous attack, but it's still an attack on their integrity and everything. I mean,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, the Egyptian cafe is an Arab team, like they are Arab owners,
Don't
and this
say.
onset, and this another news people sent a U.S. guy trying to provoke the employees. You see, he even said like, "It doesn't bother you that I'm U.S." or something like that. He was trying to get a reaction, but the people that were there were very polite, very, very kind to him. And when he left, the cameras and reporters came in trying to provoke or get a reaction from them, and they failed miserably.
And now we
That's
have
what happened.
the caravan full of explosives, and it was supposed to be like an attack on the Jewish community or whatever it may be, because they're saying basically it was somebody who was trying to cause harm to Jewish people. And for me personally, the only attack, it is an attack on the Jewish community, but not in that same way. It's just the Zionist attack on the Jewish community. Like literally, I don't know what to say to this.
Yeah, like they're provoking this situation for no reason, because actually they're harming themselves.
Yeah.
Because they are real anti-Semitic attacks. It's like the boy that cries wolf. There are real things happening, but people are gonna dismiss it because they're creating fake attacks.
Yeah. One of my biggest issues with people on a whole, like crying for the wrong reason and lying about things, and when things then really happen, these people are not believed. But yeah. So the next point, Maria, is fully yours. Take it away.
Which is the one? Let me see.
Where?
Okay. So, okay, guys, this is go to my question from this. This is linked to my original question. 2 weeks ago, was it that we talked about Bukele, and I was saying like, no, he's a good guy. But let me say it with my whole chest. Ness was right.
Who gave him that line? Do you think I can use that? Yes. And in fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. Yes. But to liberate 350 million people, you have to imprison some.
He's another corrupted politician that was bought out by the U.S. This man came to visit Donald Trump, and he said the most outrageous thing. And to me, it's like seeing two different people. The men that fight for peace and safety, to this villain that is calling an innocent man a terrorist and saying that, oh, yes, you can bring your prisoners to my country. No question asked. Let's please elaborate, because this is upsetting.
No, he also refused to send back Kilmar Albrego Garcia, which is absolutely insane. Did you guys see the video, how he was talking?
I didn't see the video.
You didn't see it? I'm going to send it to you, Stella, because it's awful.
It will be on this episode. Okay, so Ray, you saw it. Do you think do you think that was there something off for you when you watched it about the way that he was talking, or did you believe everything he said?
Well, all I saw there was someone who got paid, and he would just say whatever that is going to whatever that's going to go in line with the amount of money that he's getting paid. Or yeah, exactly. We spoke about it before, right? No excuses here. But like when someone is like telling you,
no more.
Why are you making fun of my pain? That was painful, bro. That was painful. Realizing that he was another sellout.
I'm not making
not only
fun.
a sellout.
I'm the one who stood up. I'm the one who stood up for you the other day. I'm the one who stood up for you the other day. And I was but unfortunately, I also said another statement that no one makes it to the office unless they were put there and they were accepted to be there, and he's just another one, right? That's just that's proves it, you know. So
Take
and
that, Maria.
basically, look, no, again, basically what I'm doing here is, you know, I'm confirming your true good intentions and your kind heart, Maria, and I'm also confirming my, you know, my statement, and you know, you were wrong, unfortunately, you know, sometimes,
No,
you know, it
How
happens.
about you confirm me when I say everybody has a price? How about that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. But again,
no, it was
look, on the level,
heartbreaking.
yeah, on the level of politicians and especially like a president, you know, sky is the limit for me. You know, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't think twice, honestly. I don't trust any of them.
At this point, we have to shout out Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. He is the best, the only one, and
Oh no, wait for it,
he's
wait for it.
amazing.
I know. Right?
No,
Like,
Wait for
I'm
it.
and you know what? If it happens, it happens. But let me tell you something. This man, he doesn't need to do what he's doing. The West is attacking him so bad. The way that they are trying to destabilize his country with all of these quote unquote Islamic extremists, and he's not falling for it. The way that they put up protests in France and Italy to try bring him down. They have literally people, like his own people, are protesting in the streets, telling him to drop, you know, as a president. And he doesn't even say anything. He has every week there is another assassination attempt on him every week by the Western countries because he is not bowing down to them. So instead of like, you know, like give him some grace. He's amazing, and he's
But
the
the
youngest.
same was Bukele. The same was
No, he
Bukele.
wasn't. No, he
People
wasn't.
He
No, he
wasn't.
wasn't. I'll tell you why. Because the $6 billion yearly didn't start coming his way now. They've been going his way.
Yeah, but how long do you think he has been in politics? For a long time. He's starting from the bottom.
He's been there for a minute, and regardless of that, then tell me, okay, so he took the money, he took it. This guy is not taking anything. That's why they try to take him out every week. He is even not like, he knows. He said he doesn't shake hands. He just fist bumps because he knows. He already knows.
You know what my problem is? My problem is, you know, Bashar al-Assad and his father, at least, you know, to everyone, used to look the same, used to be classified as the same, right? That the West hates them. They don't get paid. They never got paid by the West, by the way, right? But at least, you know, like they were getting all the oil revenue that is in Syria to their pockets instead.
Okay, let's do this.
But again, they didn't get paid. They were always against, you know, the Western imperialism and everything, right? And well, they didn't, you know, there was no assassination attempts on them, at least, you know, like the only one was in the 1979 for Hafez al-Assad, you know, Shah. But after that, done. Of course, there's no assassination because, you know, the whole country was locked down completely. Yeah. So yeah, that's why, again, I don't trust anyone in the office.
No, we don't. We don't trust anyone 100%, right? But we still have to give him, like, he still has, so far, he has proven himself. Okay, when you have time, please go read up on him. I would love to know your take when you like have more information on him.
Yeah.
And I say this as right now. I don't say it's always going to be like this because I have no idea. At some point, you know, it's either they take him out or they you know, he's gonna give in.
Yeah, okay.
Hear how he talks, hear how he speaks, what he says, how he goes about things, you know, then you would see, like when he goes to these where all the presidents meet, you know, when he goes to all of these congresses and these G8, whatever, he doesn't go in these tailored suit and these designer clothes. He goes in his military clothes. He's actually from the military. He was a soldier. He did not want to become president. He was there to temporary. And then when he said, okay, it's time to vote for a president, the people started protesting and they wanted him to stay in power.
You know, I'm going to give you, I can bring you so many examples like this, or let's say a couple of examples like this, but unfortunately, I need to, at some point, I need to travel to some countries, and those countries, you know, if anyone would hear me giving those examples and see my face, you know, I still want to go to those countries because, you know, I got something to do there. So I'm not going to give you the examples, but maybe we can talk about them offline.
Oh, please! I can't wait. I want to know. I have to know.
I know. I'm curious. That's such a. You have.
And now our viewers wanted to know, so we cannot make him private. Maybe we can do like a session.
No.
Like they want to know too.
I can give some example about, you know, for example, you know, how they speak, right? Okay, we've got the example of Hafez al-Assad and Bashar al-Assad. Okay, you've got Jamal Abdel Nasser, you know, the Egyptian president. Like people were even the people who knew that he could do nothing and he's just a big mouth, right? But they were still listening to him and they were still supporting him and they went to his funeral like crazy, right? When he died. So what I'm saying here is that, you know, speeches don't move me. You know, going with the military or wearing the military uniform and saying that, yes, I'm a militant and I'm not interested, or he's not interested in being a president. Well, he is a president now anyway, right? And well, there's another president who just said that, not just said that, but a couple of years ago, and he's still a president for the fourth term or the third term now, I don't remember. But again, I told you I need to travel to those countries, so I'm not going to mention.
No, please don't. Safety first, and we can talk about it after. But can you please still do some research on Ibrahim Traore?
I will.
Thank you, because I would like to know your take. So the next topic I'm very excited about.
Unanimous decision of this court is that the terms woman and sex in the Equality Act 2010 refer to a biological woman and biological sex.
A pivotal moment in a landmark case. Joy and relief from campaigners in Edinburgh. And outside the Supreme Court in London too. They've won their battle over the legal definition of what a woman is.
So finally, at least in the UK, they set an example, this time a good one. The Supreme Court finally ruled that the legal definition of a woman and what it means and what it entails. And I want to put a disclaimer out. What I'm going to say is my opinion. I don't care if anyone agrees or disagrees with me. I don't care if anyone feels attacked. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to put 10 disclaimers out. I'm not going to feel sorry. I don't care. If you misunderstand me, that is your problem. Deal with it, okay? Because this is on tape.
That's why she needed to introduce this point on me.
Oh, okay. I
touched a bullet.
No, you didn't, because you would be more like, I don't know, cordial about it. I don't care, because at this point I really don't care. And 10 toes down, I'm not gonna sway from what I say, and this is on tape, so you can play it back 10 million times if you feel like I misspoke. Okay. The definition, I don't understand why we have to have a court case about the definition of a woman. I don't understand why I as a person, we have to go out there and call ourselves cis women just because we're born as a woman. I don't want another definition. That is to please, as they say it, okay? They say it. One percent of the population who decided to change their bodies because they were not happy with the gender they were born with, and it's up to them. I don't care if anyone wants, if you want to get surgery and look like a cat or like a dog, I'm fine with it. I really don't care. But you're not going to come and tell us who are born a certain way and are fine with it. You're not going to tell us to call ourselves something else. You're not going to tell mothers that they can call themselves mothers anymore because you feel offended because you cannot be a mother. You're not going to tell people that they need to change anything about themselves because you wanted a change.
So guys,
Yeah,
please,
that was my
you
first
think?
thought when I no, that was my first thought when I read this news about the Supreme Court. Like,
Yeah.
do we need really a court order to really confirm what a woman is? Well, a woman is someone who's born as a woman.
Yeah.
You know, biologically, I'm talking about, right? I understand that I'm going to put it maybe in a more diplomatic way. I understand that, you know, people feel different. People wish to be something, or, you know, to be identified in a different way. Okay, because of how they feel. But also, I've seen a video a year ago about one student, or one lady. She's a member of a swimming team in the US. I don't remember the details, but she was really talking about, you know, her problem, and her the problem of her team members as well, of you know, one of the members of the team who is a transgender, and she is and they have to share the change room with her, although that, you know, like biologically she has a male
Body parts.
right? Yeah, exactly. So again, and that's maybe why the court had to you know, make that order and put
Well,
that
I wonder,
definition.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to, because like I've had this argument, I guess, with my own family, and my final conclusion is that I don't care, right, about what other people like. To me, it doesn't bother me if trans women are in the bathroom or not. I've never been assaulted by a trans woman. I've been assaulted by men, right? But when you mentioned the changing room thing, I've been on teams with trans women before. And so I wonder partially if this is getting like too much attention from people who may have that bigotry in their mind, because that's never been a problem for me at all.
Yeah,
Like
what I'm trying
ever.
to say
And so I wanted to add my own anecdote just to kind of like counteract the world of like, well, I have to share a changing room with someone, and it's like, well, not really.
well,
Realistically, it's not.
Well, right. The thing is, you know, again, this goes back to how, you know, like it's a personal, it's based on the individuals themselves, right? Some people could get comfortable, some people couldn't. We're not talking about the assault here. We're talking about, you know, probably the exposure of the body, right? I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. I might not feel comfortable at some certain situation. Like, look, today, for example, I took my boys to the swimming pool, all right? And that's a true story, okay? My little boy, he's 7 years old, right? He likes to wear, you know, his you know, he wants to wear his bathers. That's what we call them in Australia, the bathers, the shorts, and he wants to wear the top as well. He likes to wear the top, right? When he got out of the pool, I told him, okay, because it was like, you know, it would be a little bit cold, so and the top would be wet, so he would feel cold because of it. I told him, take it off, and I'll put the towel on you. He said, no, I don't want to take off my top in front of people. He wants to go to the change room. right? So he just doesn't feel comfortable in that situation. So
Yeah.
maybe I don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with this, but some others do. They do have a problem, right? So what is the
Yeah, no,
solution
but
to
see,
this?
it's not that you don't have a problem, right? Everybody
Or I
has
don't care.
the right to their
Let's say.
modesty. No, everyone
Yeah.
has a right to their modesty, and I think everyone has a right to their privacy in a way that I think is so much less, like, I just feel like this 1% of the population, it's a scapegoat that's not fair. Because I mean, like, even you're talking about like your son, right? My sister, me, everybody I know, everybody has their own comfort with privacy, to the point where if somebody needs their privacy, we make it for them, to the point where I think having this definition and having it in law and like trying to make it into a big deal where we like magnify this one small percent of the population is unfair. Like it hurts my heart, because it feels like an unfair attack, because like we're all sitting here and I think we all agree and feel the same way in some sense. But it just gets magnified to the point where you're putting definitions and like excluding and harming a group of people that are not the actual problem in reality.
I'm with Stella on this one. And like you said, I think that the core was absurd for a different reason. I think they're trying to divide us more, try to distract us for real issues that matter. Like it's an
It's a
ongoing
real
genocide right
issue.
now here.
This is a real issue.
It
This
is.
is.
Because I mean, even I've
You
like
say
been on teams, I've been in sports. When we have Muslim sisters, we make sure that their modesty is protected. There's
I was
trans
going to
sisters,
read
we
that.
make
Yes.
sure their modesty is protected. Like it doesn't matter. We are always gonna protect women. Protect women. We protect anybody, right? So it's like it's
Yeah.
something that like when it comes down to it, it's like we got to protect somebody's modesty, their privacy. It is always done.
Yes, like
You know.
I was going to bring the hijab, and my hair, hair salon that I go, there is a session for women. They wear the hijab, so no one sees them, so they are protected to make sure that their privacy, their culture is protected. So
I'm
we,
sorry,
as
but
a culture, we make sure that your privacy is protected. Your point of view is protected.
Sex has always meant biological sex, and what we have seen is a lot of people misinterpreting the law. They've had guidelines from all sorts of organizations that actually do not follow the law. So I really welcome this judgment. We need more. We need better clarification in legislation. The Equality Act could be improved. When I was Minister for Equalities, I was working on legislation to actually clarify that sex in the act meant biological sex. And I think this is really a victory for all of those women who've had to go to court to fight for rights that they already had.
what happened, and it happened a few times, and you guys can look this up, right? You have a man who physically assaulted a woman. He went to prison for it, and in prison, he just decided to become a woman. When he became a woman, they said, oh, he's not responsible for that crime because he's another person now. And this is these kind of things are my problem. The things are my problem when men abuse the fact of this whole transgender situation, where they dress up like women, go into normal public bathrooms, and violate children or other people. So it's
But
not
you see, the problem is no the transgender. It's people using the narrative of the transgender to
But
harm
nobody
other
said the
people.
transgender is a problem. This is why I made in the beginning very clear. I don't have a problem with anyone changing their body. It's nothing to do with me. It's not my struggle. It's not my challenge. It's not my fight. What I have a problem with is what is made with it and what is done with it. What I have a problem with is the expectations of that mothers are not supposed to call themselves mothers anymore because it's offensive. I
never heard of that.
Oh, well, look it up. I need to call myself a cis woman. Why? What is this? I don't want this. I don't care.
Oh, sorry. It's these cases are sensationalized, and one thing like I've noticed is they take them and they sensationalize them to scare people and make it seem like it's an actual problem. And so it is fake news in a way. Like,
but I think where we can agree that we can leave kids out of this, like the kids are not should have go through anything permanent changes, until they hit adulthood and they can decide for themselves. I think we can agree that should be the norm. Let the kids be kids and let them educate themselves, let them grow into it, let them take the decision when they're older. When they're older, they're on you. I think that that can be the common ground here.
How about we just leave
Kids are
everybody out of it, and as long as we don't harm or annoy or
no one has forced me to call myself a cis woman. No one has forced me. No one said, Maria, you have to call yourself a cis woman. No one has come to me to say that.
It's not that somebody is forcing you, but look, I was in a situation where, because I had no idea what that means. I actually, to be honest, I thought it meant something else. I was around someone, and because I didn't call myself that, it was in a conversation. This person took it very personal. They started crying. They made a whole thing out of it. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that means. And then,
but that could be that person issue, right? Not the whole community.
Oh my God, I wish I could bring these people here and they would actually come and speak, but I just don't want to. And
bring them in.
No, this is when we talked about earlier about falling out with people over like politics and stuff. This is exactly okay. Let me ask you something else, Stella. If I said to you, and I just use you as an example, I'm just okay, but please don't take any offense. If I said to you, I identify as Black, what would you tell me?
Well, see that's a whole different thing. And we've had, trust me, we've had this conversation. People try to scapegoat the race and the
no. I'm not trying to. That's why I said I'm not trying to. But
it's you can't do that. You can't. That's not comparable, and it's not fair. It's not even like the same, because especially since there are trans people, we in talking about racial identity. And then trying to compare that to, and again, it's a scapegoat. And scapegoat.
The reason why I bring this up is this fair. Rachel woman,
anti-Black.
You know probably who I'm talking about, right? Whatever her name is, Rachel. What's her name? Oh, right,
yes, the white woman who pretended to be Black.
Why does she? Why does she get away with it?
No, she does, but she doesn't. If you ask, and again, like, who's been talking about this for years? Lots of people, but especially me. She's not a Black woman.
No.
And she knows that she's not a Black woman. Everyone else knows she's not a Black woman. That's why she gets platformed and money and all of these different things. In the Black community, we have issues with colorism. We have all of these issues where in order to have a certain status in our society, people will put you on a platform simply because you're white.
Yeah.
And so,
that will follow into cultural appropriation. More than 100%. Anything, he tried to appropriate a race that's totally different. Gender.
Exactly.
The point of this is the point why I brought this up. It's not to use this against anything. It's more like when people come and they say that identify as something, as long as it doesn't harm a people or a community or anyone, go ahead and do it. Knock yourself out. But when it becomes a thing where it's actually it's causing some harm or it's causing some danger to a community, to me it's a problem. So I don't understand, right? Like my thing is like we need a court to define this. That means there was a problem somewhere. There is a problem. It's not even.
But see, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point that you make. And appropriating race causes a problem in a way that I think that what I was trying to say at the beginning, defining gender so strictly to make it biological with, all we've seen, like, for example, in athletics, there are women who have high testosterone. When you are trying to biologically police women, it becomes much more difficult. And defining it as such causes women to police each other. And it's not that big of a problem in reality. So I know, like, I'm speaking anecdotally, but, these things aren't real problems when people are being normal and just talking to each other. And so I think the whole premise is...
Go ahead, sorry. But I was going to say, like, cultural appropriation has been a big issue. I wonder what is not a court about it.
Yeah. We should make some laws about it.
Yeah, like what happened with that? Like what is not a court about cultural appropriation? There have been cases when people take ownership of somebody else's culture, affecting the real people.
And then they make money off of it.
Yeah, they make money off
like
it.
The Coachella, And then
Yeah,
with the, I think they even had
the Kardashian, whatever the name is, they appropriate the culture and they make money out of it. So why is not a court case about it?
Listen, I all I'm saying is when it comes to this woman stuff, right? I have my thing is it's very simple. There is a very definite difference between men and women, and that is women have a double X chromosome and the men have an XY chromosome. The end. Whatever you would want to identify it, that is you. You can do that all day long. You can change it every week, every month. I don't care. Like, I'm cool with you regardless. My thing is, do not mix those facts with your whatever you want to identify as. Like, if you want to tell me you're in a swimming team and you're a transgender woman, I'm sorry. Biologically, you are not. Fight me on
Ray,
this
how are
fact.
you? Ray, are you there? Your phone. Where is he? Ray?
Ray is silent.
I'm
on
here.
mute.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm just listening to you guys. I'm just listening to you guys. I'm here. I'm here. Look, again, the whole thing, and why I mentioned the change room and everything else, right? Because again, I don't mind and I don't care whoever wants to identify themselves with whatever they want, right? I've got colleagues, you know, and actually I got a colleague in my previous company who was identifying himself as a man, as a dad to two children, right, two kids, and then that person disappeared for a couple of months, and then we got an email from the HR department that please join us to welcome our colleague, our returning colleague, with a female name, and telling us that, you know, he decided to identify himself as a female, right? So basically, you know, and this person, because of the nature of her work, okay, she has to come to all the departments and all the states because, you know, we're a national company, and, you know, like, they had to come to all the states and meet all of us, right? And I didn't, you know, if you decided to be called with that name, the female name, and to be a female, to be treated as a female, well, all right, yeah, I don't have a problem. So that's what I'm trying to to clarify here. But what I'm trying, when I mentioned the change rooms and everything else, is because I was actually trying to imagine why there had been a court order to decide or to identify what is a female, right? Where would you use that court order? Why did you have it in the first place, right? And where are you going to use it? So for me, I was just trying to work out that this is where it is going to be used. It's going to be used in terms of, you know, toilets, change rooms, the areas where people have got some privacy issues. Okay. So in this case, I don't think that this order is offending anyone. It is actually, if you look at it from this perspective, you would think that, well, okay, well, women, because they don't feel comfortable being around biologically identified or biologically born males, although they identify themselves as females. So, and again, we're talking about a 1% only. That's again the number that was from the news. It's just 1% percentage of the transgender people. So, of course, then we are talking about the more percentage of women, biological women, who don't feel comfortable, you know,
No,
sharing
and that's
those.
an assumption that you've made based on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. I'm guessing. I'm
Yes, you're
guessing that this is the reason of the court order. Otherwise, why a court had to be held and, you know, spend that time to issue that order. All right?
To create more division and more distraction so they can do what we do in the back end. That's why. Because we have
okay,
bigger issues than need a court order.
That's your reading to it, okay? And my reading is different, okay? Which is, I'm thinking that, you know, somebody somehow, because honestly, when I read that news, I was like, do we need this? Well, I'm talking to you, to the three of you here, and I can tell that you three are women, right? And, you know, I'm the only male here. Right, so biologically talking about,
as far as you know.
So I don't need a court order. I don't know. Well,
maybe.
I don't need you guys
you were not there when I was
court
born.
order in front of me. Well, I don't know. Well, if you can, again, I don't need a court. You know, you guys need to show me a piece of paper here on the camera. Tell me that.
Exactly my point. Exactly the point. Do we need to know?
Yes, we do.
Oh, I'm a woman.
Yes, we. No, it's not about that. It's about that it created a lot of issues and it created a lot of problems. So as much as you guys like, and again, I wondered the same. Do we really need a court for this? Like to know what a woman is? Apparently so, because it was an issue for a lot of people. It was an issue for bigger groups. So if they felt like somebody took this to court, somebody thought it was important. And I understand, Maria, when you say it's a waste of time because yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can I push it to just a quick thought that I had in my mind now when we were talking about it, right? So let me talk about prisons, okay? And I'm going to talk about it's not a male who changed or, you know, decided to become a female. I'm going to talk about a female who decided to become a male. And of course, you know, I'm sure that when some of those transgendered males decided, or like they, let's say, broke the law somehow, and they were sent to prison. Okay, and you know, as far as I heard, at least on some programs on Discovery Channel and stuff like that about the prison life, okay, it is not really the most pleasantful. So that female who changed her gender into a male, but she's still with female parts, was, you know, did some whatever, broke the law and was sent to the prison, right? So this is, again, I'm just guessing so that you don't really come at me, all of you. I'm just guessing.
No, you need some evidence, sir. I need you to bring some receipts.
We need sources.
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing that what is, you know, this is going to be, again, me guessing, this is going to be an issue. Where is that person, where is that individual going to be sent? And which prison? Because again, biologically, I'm sure that, you know, most of the, you know, so many of the prisoners in that male prison, not most, but so many of them are not really. Yeah, so so many of them are not really the nicest people on the planet. Okay, in all aspects, right?
There are good resources about this. There's stories, so you should look it up.
Again, guessing and just thinking that this court order might really create some solution or create some extra or create a problem, whatever. Okay. But again, I'm guessing that you don't really need an order, that's for sure. But that order could be used to create a solution or create an extra thing to deal with those cases. All right, if I can put it this way.
Or create more problems.
Exactly.
Okay. So to be honest, I know this was going to go this way because we're all stand with different opinions with this. I still stand 10 toes down. I don't want to change because somebody else felt they needed to change. The end. So I think this is very important that we have different opinions and that we hear different people. That's why freedom of speech is so important. yeah, freedom of religion should be important. There is a huge attack on Christianity going on in so many different ways, and there's attack on all religions at the moment, big time. But the reason why I wanted to highlight Christianity, because I came across this video, or somebody sent it to me, I should say, and it was so funny. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was the police in the UK telling people that they cannot sing church songs outside a church. They need authorization.
I thought that was a joke. I was like, is this real? I was like, this has to be fake.
I wish it was a joke, or like I hope it was a joke.
No, it's real.
I think
I know
this
it,
is a great news. I love that because the hypocrite. Yes, because they always accuse somebody else religions. They accuse Islam. They accuse other, or they want to shut down Christianity, and they come along and they are the one doing it. They are one chanting you guys, all the Christians. Like they don't can sing on the street anymore. Who is doing that?
They can sing, but not church songs.
Like you cannot sing songs outside your church. Look what they're doing it to you guys.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I know it's not funny, but this whole thing cracked me up. It's so incredible. It's insane. And as much as people always say that, we're like we're fighting, like religions are fighting each other. I think we all can sit here and say that this is wrong.
Of course, yeah, totally.
I hope the guys, when you watch the videos, can laugh like we do, because the hypocrisy behind it is crazy.
It is.
They're blaming, they're like, everybody's against Christianity. No, you guys are fighting against yourself. We don't care. We can care less.
And it happens everywhere. Like we can talk about Zelensky, how he shut down Christianity or part of Christianity in Ukraine, even the situation they're in right now. We can talk about Israel and how they are abusing Christians, spitting on them, everything. Like there's a video, there was like a little boy and he was wearing his cross and they came and just ripped it off him. And, this happens everywhere. So as how Maria said, when your own government's doing it to you, you should maybe take a look at them and not at what they present it to be like.
The color is coming from inside the house, people.
Always.
Agree. Yeah.
Okay. Our last topic for today. No, we have two more. So let's talk about the space mission.
Oh my gosh. That was me insisting to Ness that we need to talk about this because it's insane.
It's cap. It's absolute cap.
At all levels is offensive to women that actually work and made a place in a spaceship and a space travel. So these people posting like that astronaut required years and years to study and preparation. You have to have at least 5 engineers to be an astronaut. You have to go through test after test to be able to go to this journey outside space. And these people just come and get to call themselves astronaut. I find it beyond offensive to me. You want to be offended about something? Be offended about that.
Okay, let's talk about who joined.
Yeah.
So we have TV host Gayle King. We have a NASA scientist, so they have their token person, Aisha Bo. We have Lauren Sanchez. She's Jeff Bezos' fiance. Jeff Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon, the guy that provides Amazon Cloud and makes Amazon complicit of this genocide that's ongoing.
Yes.
We have journalist and research scientist Amanda. No, she's a journalist. I'm so sorry. Lauren Sanchez is a journalist, apparently. We have a research scientist Amanda. I don't know how you say it, Nugent. And
Nguyen.
Is that how you say it? Okay.
And Nguyen.
What kind of a name is this?
It's Vietnamese.
Oh, okay. My God.
Ray, come with the facts.
Yeah. Even last year, remember he told us that this other girl was Indian. I had no idea. Katy Perry, of course, and the film producer called Carrie Ann Flick. And it was absolutely embarrassing.
Was it who's the Gayle?
Gayle King.
King, yeah.
Oprah Winfrey's girlfriend. I mean, friend. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's what I read the name. I was like, okay. Yeah.
So Stella, you got
That's
it right.
how she identifies. That's how
Allegedly.
she identifies.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly. It's all alleged. We don't know nothing here.
No.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, and Gayle and that woman came to say to defend the trip, because was a trip woman, was a right. And saying like, have you gone to space? No, bro, we haven't. That's the whole point.
Like y'all are girl bossing
That
the stratosphere.
It's crazy. So yeah. And did you see Katy Perry? One of the videos, you can tell that Katy Perry opens from inside the door, ruining the whole stand. Because just Bezos supposed to open the door, right? To the big, when they come back and they do all the kiss the floor. But she wasn't paying attention, and she opened the thing from the inside, ruining the whole thing. Was all a scam, all posing.
Commercial space is a mistake. That's all I'm going to. Scientific discoveries are done once you're just flying wealthy people to the stratosphere. So hopefully some other country is continuing to actually do science, because we're clearly not. Go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's just one funny note. When I was reading, when I was reading about this news, about the interview of those ladies, I think Katy's interview with the Elle magazine, and something got my attention. Right, I don't know if you guys read this piece. Okay, so it says that Katy, she wanted to show her daughter that any type of person can reach their dreams, no matter your background, your ethnicity, your economic situation, or your education level.
Oh, wow.
The audacity of these people. Like,
wow.
Right. Yeah, I had to stop at this sentence here, or this point, or what? Right. Which one of these apply on you or your daughter, please? And which one of these would apply on me if I decide to go to this trip?
Right.
Okay.
I don't know.
So yeah, well, and on the other hand, like you can't really call them like. Did you guys mention? Did any one of you mention that they call themselves astronauts or something?
yes, they call themselves astronauts.
Yeah. So they are
so
passengers. They are basically passengers.
Yeah, they're basically on a commercial plane. They're not astronauts. Like I have colleagues, they've got PhDs, they're engineers, and they have to be physically at a certain standard. They have to be all of this stuff. You have to work for years. You've got doctors and like Navy vets that are astronauts. You're not an astronaut because you have $1 million. So like that's ridiculous.
It's diminishing all the effort that it takes. Like
100%. But this is all marketing. Like, I mean, this is Jeff Bezos' company. You have the other guy, Richard Branson, who has the Virgin Galactica. And then you have Elon with his X-Space and SpaceX or whatever the hell it's called, And that's why I feel like, wow, I just say this and my Alexa speaks to me. Okay. Cool. So,
Alexa, another time, Alexa.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then she says, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
I bet you're not.
Okay, so all of these are competing for the same space. They have like different angles. Like some are trying to get like everybody onto, because it's a real thing, this space tourism. I mean, we all know that Elon has this crazy idea of taking 1 million people to Mars and, creating basically some life over there in that sense.
Because they ruined this planet, now they want to ruin the next one. I see.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys remember the submarine?
Oh my God, the submarine.
This is the same BS. This is the same thing. You have a bunch of rich people who are bored or got paid to do this. It's the same like these people going down. And everybody was following the story of the submarine. And yes, it was sad. It's always sad when, an innocent life kind of like ends. But they trusted.
I feel sorry for the son.
Well, they trusted a dude to build some submarine out of whatever, like he could get from Home Depot. And
I was about to say that, yeah. Who would get into a submarine that there was was built with the worst part, crazy.
Well, that's the point. Like, you trust a guy that gets his stuff from Home Depot, you pay him millions, and then you're gonna it's not a big surprise that it happened. And then you have people who really, as you guys said earlier, studied this and have scientific knowledge on this, and it's just was it worth it after all?
Yeah. And with the submarine specifically, oh, go ahead.
The first red flag that would have been for me is when they keep this super heavy book a disclaimer, before you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do it, don't dare to sue us if something happened to you. They'd be given a big heavy book a disclaimer before getting in there. I was like, that would be my first red flag.
Absolutely. Okay, our last topic, Fatima Sunam. Anyone wants to tell her story, who she is, what she does, what she did, I should say, what happened?
Okay, well, everyone can remain silent, sorry. Okay, so Fatima Hassouna is a photographer who is based in Gaza. She's a 25 years old, ambitious lady. She's one of so many who were working hard despite all the airstrikes and all the attacks on the civilians there. They're working hard to document all the crimes that are committed by the occupying entity who is unlawfully stealing the land of Palestine. Fatima is one of them, and she lost her life on Wednesday. She lost her life on Wednesday along with 10 family members. One of the things that she wrote on her social media was it was actually a couple of days before she passed away. If I die, I won't allow death. I don't want to be just breaking news or a number in a group. I want a death that the world will hear, an impact that will remain through time, and a timeless image that cannot be buried by time or place. On Wednesday, the 16th of April, she was killed in an airstrike that hit her home in northern Gaza with 10 members of her family, including her pregnant sister.
And she created the documentary?
Hmm?
The documentary?
Yeah. So she created a documentary, and that was supposed to be also, it's going to be, the documentary is about what is going on in Gaza since October the 7th, 2023. She was doing the documentary in collaboration with an Iranian director. And it was this Iran director is in France, and this documentary was supposed to be also showcased the Cannes festival, and of course it was maybe nominated for an award. Look, when you talk about journalists, it's always difficult for me. It's like we've lost more than 200 journalists in Gaza. All they were doing was, trying to show us the truth, trying to get the people and themselves heard. They separated from their families, most of them. They went through, into the middle of the areas where they are getting airstrikes, where they are getting, the areas that no one would go to, in order to at least make themselves heard. Now, when it comes to journalists, I become a bit more emotional because this is how I started. This is how I started on. I didn't really start with debating or, trying to basically, or even educate. I didn't really start like this. I started only to be in contact with the journalists and translate for them and help them be heard. But the thing is, we spoke to them. I spent hours, 15, 20 hours a day doing this. I spoke to them. We built bonds with them. They used to come to us, to the social media and platforms. They used to come to us, and they still do, to get their voices heard and to take a brief break from everything they are witnessing. I feel sometimes that, and some of them mentioned that, they saw in us the only breathing space where they can feel alive. Share a laugh with us, feel heard, and hopefully supported, even with words. Just feel given the hope when they talk to us, because basically they are locked down in that open air prison, and the only breathing space for them was through that screen. Some used to come to talk to us about anything except news. So we wouldn't really ask and say, what's the news today? Tell us what's going on. No. They would talk to us about anything except news. I wouldn't really ask them what is the update. I would ask them, how are they? How are their family? How are their kids? Did they eat or did they drink anything today? We exchange jokes. We exchange jokes with them. We pick on each other sometimes, just to make it feel like, we are a group of friends catching up together. Okay? Because we know that just like Fatima, and just like the other 200 who lost their lives, who knows when is next and who's next. So we try to make it as easy as possible with them, and just make them feel like, I don't know, they're alive, they are heard. I don't know how to describe it. Sorry. So I don't know if you guys would like to add.
I think you described it very well. What stood out to me a lot is how much we here take for granted that is everything to them. Like, yeah, we all love our phones. This is the way that we connect with everybody and how we can read news or how we get our messages. But for them, it's how they tell their story. It's how they let the world know what's really happening. And the way that she done this documentary was having video calls over WhatsApp, which is obviously not the best quality and not the easiest way to record. How are you going to record a WhatsApp call except like screen record it? So the quality was on a very different level, but it doesn't matter because the story matters. The story speaks way louder than any quality, than any, like fancy camera or whatever Hollywood has to offer. And this is what stood out to me, like how much these people, and how like value their phones in a very, very, very different way than we do. The way that they use their phone. And that's why I was thinking, like, sometimes people are not mindful. Like, when we have things, we take them for granted, they become normal, and we just use them sometimes for like unimportant things, and that's fine, obviously. And you know, this is their struggle, and this is meant to be their struggle, and we're here to, you know, elevate and highlight their narrative and their voices. But at the same time, I just feel like, you know, I had to check myself, like, I don't know, maybe sometimes we need to make use more of our time in a very different way, and actually really get inspired by these people who are doing nothing but showing what's going on. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean.
You're muted, Maria.
Oh, that's nothing new. Maria loves talking on mute.
Yeah, like Ray, thanks to TikTok, I get to know by name and last name our journalists, their families, all our journalists. Big shout out to Assis. He's monumental in my learning experience. These people are just so beyond unique. They are so strong. They live no strength. This is the word, like resilient. They're like seeing this. They're suffering to this because their families are going through this, but take that energy to keep us informed, to let us know what's happened. They are the one that woke up the world after October 7th. Thanks to them, we know the truth. The world knows the truth of what's going on there. And that we will always forever thankful.
Yeah, I have so much respect for these people. Like I have nothing else to add. You guys encompass it so well, but like what they're sacrificing to tell the world, like we will never forget. Like this is so much more important than we can put into words right now.
100%.
There is a courage was meant in Palestine. The left of humanity that we have, it is in Palestine. That's why it's so important to protect them. That is our humanity there.
Absolutely. Well, on this note, that's actually, yeah, I just wanted to put, I mean, people who are watching this podcast know this, but there is some new people, as I can see in the comments. Hello, new people. And Stella, probably you don't know that as well. I love to play devil's advocate sometimes. So when I asked you about what would you feel like if I said I identify as Black, that was totally to provoke the response you gave. Because the reason why I did that is because it happened on Piers Morgan. I don't know if you saw that. He made that argument and I found it so like insensitive, and it spiraled into something completely different. And I always felt like, okay, I want that moment to kind of like clean that narrative because it bothered me so much.
We were ready with the boxing matches.
So yeah, with that said, we're done.
Well, thank you, Ness. This was great. So
stop thanking me. I'm gonna.
Thank you, Ness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So
thank you, Ray, for swimming all the way here.
Yeah, Ray.
Always my pleasure.
No, wait. He took the bike. Then what was the after the bus, right? Or was it the swimming after?
You know what?
It was the bike,
Yeah.
swimming, and then walking.
There is a competition, the Ironman or something, that these people go into with boat, they swim, they climb. So he did the whole thing.
I actually saw in the comments, somebody said to you, Ray, next time tell me I'm going to send the private jet. You should.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I kept that on my on my reminders. I don't have to swim anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Now apparently somebody has a private jet to send to you. All right, guys.
Hey guys.
Can't wait.
See you in the comments.
See you next week, and that's it. Peace out.